Hello, in this demo you'll see the new SQL Server connection experience inside Visual Studio. The new experience simplifies connecting to favorites, your recent connections, and to Azure SQL database resources. For instance, common actions such as schema compare and publish are now easier to configure. If you choose Edit from the database settings here, you get a list of connections that you've made recently and things that you've pinned to favorites. If I want to add a new favorite, I can do so with the click of a button, and that means it's always available even if I'm using other databases more frequently. I'll double click to connect, and it's as simple as that. The next experience we'd like to show is what happens when you connect to a new database for the first time. For example, if I need to connect to Azure from SQL Server Object Explorer. Here, when I click Add, it opens the Browse tab by default. This shows your local, network, and Azure resources. For Azure, as long as I've signed in through Visual Studio, I can automatically see all of my databases, and if needed, I can switch my connection. Again, connecting is as simple as selecting, and in this case typing in my password since it's the first time I've connected. I'll click Remember and connect, and now I get to automatically create a firewall rule. This is a common behavior when connecting to Azure for the first time, since you need to securely connect. I'm going to click OK to just add my own client IP, but you can add a range if you prefer. Once this is done, the connection will be added to SQL Server Object Explorer, and even better, it will now be available across the tool so that I can easily publish from the Publish dialog. The last thing to show is what happens if you don't have any resources to connect to or to try out SQL Server. Publishing here and going to the Azure tab lets you choose New SQL Database. From here, you can create a new SQL database even if you don't have a server. You can also choose to create it from a sample rather than from scratch. This is great for trying out the tool for the first time. Here is the blade in the Azure portal, allowing you to create a new SQL Server database. As you can see, you can create a new server by clicking here, or change to use a sample by clicking here. We hope you've enjoyed this quick tour around the new SQL Server connection experience inside Visual Studio. Feel free to give us feedback on Twitter @SQLDataTools or via Connect, and do try it out for yourself. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.